There it is.
I was an undercover CIA operative. My assignment was preventing rogue states and terrorists from getting nuclear weapons. You name a hotspot, I lived it. Then Dick Cheney's chief of staff took revenge against my husband and leaked my identity. His name, Scooter Libby. Guess who pardoned him last year? I come from Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. Dad was in the Air Force. My brother almost died in Vietnam. My service was cut short when my own government betrayed me. We left Washington to raise our kids in New Mexico, one of the best places on earth. Now I'm running for Congress because we're going backwards on national security, healthcare, and women's rights. We need to turn our country around. And yes, the CIA really does teach us how to drive like this. You've probably heard my name. And Mr. President, I've got a few scores to settle.
I don't know. I mean,
that's an incredible ad.
I'm with her.
No, it's like you're with her, except she's hot.
I can understand that you need an ad to just sort of break through the noise. This doesn't seem to promote many policies other than it seems like freeway driving.
What we really need right now is to beef up the security state beyond what it already is.
The one good thing it does is it ties Trump to the Bush administration and Republicans in general. But other than that,
I like that part of it. And she also made a point of saying that she had Jewish ancestry because there was a little bit of a anti-Semitic tweet situation back in the day that she quickly backed off. I think 2 hours later or something. Some story she had.
Jews caused the wars,
but
you can't blame her for that. I asked Alan Dershowitz once. I said, "Why did the Jews cause the wars?" Fascinating guy.
I mean, I think we're seeing, we saw this with like Amy McGrath when she ran for Congress too, right? In Kentucky, where it was like, there's just like this using of like this sort of the military, the national security state, and sort of like, it's a way of women to project that they're like strong and man, look at me.
But didn't that also really start? I mean, wasn't that very accentuated? I mean, Rahm Emanuel's whole 2006 House strategy was get vets.
Yep.
Get like that whole like.
Well, these are people coming back from the war in Iraq.
Well, no, I mean, to be clear, my problem is definitely not with vets, but it wasn't. These people have a firsthand consequence of the wars. It was don't even talk about Iraq. Literally, just show off some type of pedigree and do ads where you're in a plane and show that you're tough.
Well, I mean,
Rahm explicitly said in 2006. I'm sure people ignored it, but his directive was not even to have a position for or against, just don't discuss.
But I think there was. I mean, a lot of those vets were talking about Iraq at the time when they come out, because a lot of that was when that was the supposed anti-war election.
But not from Rahm. I mean, I just reread his stuff in
I don't doubt it.
Grimm's
I mean, he was
book,
bad about all of it. Yeah.
Well, Rahm supported it, and what his olive branch was, don't talk about it. We got to talk about prescription drugs.
Right.
2006 is about prescription drugs.
It's an idiot. But there it is. All right. I'm going to do a 30-second thing. If you've been hanging on the phone for longer than... For 29 minutes or more, I will get to you. If it's been less, sorry, folks. Let's go to the phones. Calling from a 479 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam. It's Joe from Arkansas.
Joe from Arkansas. What's on your mind, Joe?
Straight away, I'm going to apologize for the last call because it was I made a, borderline anti-Semitic impersonation of you.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Michael
does that every day.
It's just so fine.
Matt was right. People in Arkansas doing Sam Seder impersonation is probably a good thing.
Yeah, but I think it's nice. Well, so what else is on your mind? Go.
Oh, my God, my back hurts. I'm Sam Seder.
there was an awesome TYT clip about a week ago on my congressman, Steve Womack, in the 3rd District of Arkansas, which is it's a pretty wicked place. It's the home of Walmart and Tyson Foods. But he was here at a town hall, and he got booed pretty profoundly for saying that gun violence was because there wasn't enough God, and then he blamed single mothers after that, which was pretty awesome.
Sounds like the caller from earlier.
Right. Did anybody point out that his concept of God was a function of a single mother?
Ooh. Well, I don't know about that, but not enough folks are.
I about lost my top earlier with the whole libertarian caller because I'm not even going to get into it. I just want to thank Michael right off the top for telling him that he is in a fantasy world, because that's where that dude lives at, is in a fantasy world.
And not a nice one.
Not a friendly fantasy.
No, it's not even a good one. And he said he said people make good, rational choices if left to their own, but then he called the majority report to make that asinine argument. So
I appreciate the call, Joe. That's a good one.
Joe keeps coming through.
That's good. All right, we're going to do 30 seconds here. Calling from a 360 area code. Who's this? Where you calling from? You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, this is Matt from Washington.
Go, Matt.
So I'm calling to find out, about the trade war. Trump keeps insisting that the Chinese are stealing our IP. Now, from what Dr. Richard Wolff says the Chinese view it as the deal since the inception of all free trade between China and the U.S. is that the deal has always been their cheap labor for our IP. But I can't exactly find that on the internet just myself because I'm not that internet literate. I'm wondering, how does that all work? And is Dr. Richard Wolff right?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I don't have that at my fingertips.
Dr.
I don't know.
Wolff.
I have a feeling. My guess is that was more of a unspoken understanding that,
People like Thomas Friedman basically say that, yes, that there was when it came to there was stealing IP and hey, you can bootleg, you can sell knockoff DVDs or Nikes, but now this is about the future of IG or 4G or whatever. So that is the Richard Wolff point. I think it's true, and I think he's right that there is a huge amount of U.S. corporate hypocrisy. Look at Sam. He's finding China on the globe.
Appreciate the call.
It is a nice-looking globe.
Calling from a 307 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
This is Antonio from Wyoming.
And what's on your mind? 30 seconds.
I'm calling I'm trying to get the word out about the work that's happening out here in Wyoming.
The what?
People probably wouldn't believe it, but the work happening in Wyoming for immigrants. We've been fighting a campaign for 2 years to try and stop a private prison from being built out here. It'll be a 500-bed facility. We're just trying to get the word out that there's people here fighting in Wyoming and fighting hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there a website that we can go to, or where can we get more information?
Yeah. YO say no. WYO say no.com.
WYO.
Get on there, check out everything.
.com.
And living in a libertarian state, I love those videos of you eating those dudes up, man.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, good luck. All right, we have it here. Uinta County, YO say no. We will put a link to this in our podcast description and check it out.
Keep on fighting the good
right
fight.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for your efforts. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Calling from a 607 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? You got 30 seconds.
Hello, this is Clay from Athens.
Clay from Athens.
Yes. In regard to your previous caller, the libertarian, it seems to me that again, the sides are drawn between those who believe that the poor are poor because it's their own fault, and others of us who believe the poor are poor because of systemic impoverishment. And not to trot out my crackpot ideas, but I've been perusing Piscavana Nominate by Dershowitz and West, and they say the central message of modern socialism at this stage of industrial development is that the hard fact is every year there's going to be more people and proportionately fewer jobs.
Right.
You know, this is the legacy of the. Yes.
All right, got to go. Appreciate it. That was 50. I gave you an extra 20 seconds. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Well, you get.
Oh.
I think he was going to say you gave that idiot 20 minutes.
Libertarian? Well, yeah, he was just up at the top.
But
of
we
the
all
show.
know that.
Calling from we all know how it works around here. Calling from a 610 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? 610. Yes.
Philadelphia, me. Let's see. Concerning your main topic today, up to a few weeks ago, Philadelphia was releasing people after hours that the place where they were handing over their goods and valuables, like wallet, ID, etc., were that office was closing at
I'm sorry,
4
dude.
o'clock.
I'm sorry. I cannot make out what you're saying.
Call back often and frequently.
Call is not
with the same call
quality's not
quality.
great. I'm sorry
That's
about
why there's
that.
topics.
Calling from a 703 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? 703. 703 area code. Calling once. 703. 703. 703. Good day. Calling from a 406 area code. You got 30 seconds. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam, this is Brennan from Montana.
Brennan from Montana.
I just wanted to ask you, well, first off, that first caller was a grade A moron. I can't even handle that crap. The main thing I wanted to call for was to ask you, how do you organize in a rural area like I live in Montana, where people are just so inactive and don't give a damn about things like climate change? I tried to start a sunrise movement chapter here. It went all right for a little while, fell. Now I'm with a few friends doing it's called the Northern Rockies Socialist Rifle Association that we just started. So
Hell yeah.
Hopefully we have better luck with that. But any tips you have?
Well, frankly, I think you're on to something insofar as like wrap it into something social. I mean, I would imagine that the other attribute of living on Montana is that there's not necessarily a whole lot of stuff going on. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you can wrap it into something social as well, then maybe you're on to something.
Are the national parks under attack over there? Because that might be an issue to rally around.
Well, we haven't been raking them enough, I don't think, either, because they keep lighting on fire. That's why I thought maybe the climate thing would strike with some people, but...
Well, conservation is always big out there, and you start where people are, and then you bring them to where you want them to go. Appreciate the call.
Talk to Brett at Rev Left Radio. He's got some good ideas on being a leftist organizer in a rural red state. Also, one thing that he said to us that I thought I hadn't really thought of before was when you are a leftist organizer in a place like that where there's so few of you, it kind of feeds into like a nice kind of left unity that we don't always have in places like New York City, because you really have to work together despite whatever factional differences you may have,
Calling from a 651 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam, this is Isaac from Minnesota.
Isaac from Minnesota. You are the third to last caller. 30 seconds. Go.
Oh, boy. A lot of response. All right, so this is going to be a bit of a scattershot call. Michael, first off, Lula Libre. And do you have a release date on the book yet? Do you know if I'm going to be able to get it for Christmas?
No, sorry. It's going to be after
okay.
Christmas. Apologies.
I'm sure it'll be worth it. But speaking of some contents of the book, I know a lot of people wanted to talk about the Tulsi Gabbard and Dave Rubin bit, but I don't know if you guys saw it, but Sam Harris was on David Pakman. And I was listening to that. It was just it was a hilarious display of David repeatedly having to tell Sam, no, Sam, these mean little lefties you're dealing with are not everybody. And Sam Harris is just a very petulant person, and I think one of the biggest things I got from him is that he has this idea that he's the only rational actor and everybody else is a monolith of idiocy. It was a fascinatingly dumb performance by Sam, and I was just wondering if you guys had checked that out or if you were going to cover
Hadn't
it.
seen it yet. May cover it. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, man.
All right, we got 2 more calls. Calling from an 810 area code. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey, Sam, this is Spencer from Flint.
Spencer from Flint. You got 30 seconds. Go.
All right, just wanted to say I love the Majority Report. I don't miss a single one, not even a show. And I wanted to know your opinion on gay unionization, specifically with Valve. And you know what? You kind of remind me of a little character from a Valve software video game, Sam.
Sam looks like the Half-Life main character, I think you're saying?
No, he looks like a character from Left 4 Dead 2. Because you're the biggest fucking boomer I've ever met. I love you guys. All right, have a great night.
Nice.
I don't know that reference.
I don't know any of the references, but it sounded like if I did, it would have been funny.
Did he just call you a boomer?
Yeah, I appreciate
that part.
Calling from a 518 area code. I'm not. I'm technically a Gen Xer.
More than technically.
Well, I am a Gen Xer.
You're definitely.
Calling from a 518 area code. You are the final caller of the day. You got 30 seconds. Go. 518. 518. You are not the final.
Hello.
You are not the final caller of the day. 727. Calling from a 727 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Hello. Did we lose the phones? 727. Last one. Calling from a 319 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? We are done with calls, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We will see you tomorrow.
It might take all the strength I got to get to where I want, but I know